I wouldn't say I was chasing. I would say I was running. I was running away from corporate life. I think Gran Turismo 7 is going to age awfully. I really do. Without being vulgar about it, I make more off YouTube through my sponsorships and things like that than I do in my YouTube studio. 35-year-old guy making videos that no one watches on Gran Turismo. What an absolute loser. I remember still the first time that I got 1,000 viewers on a live stream, and I just broke down. Just the look in his dad's eyes towards me would just, honestly, it almost broke me there and then.
So here we are once again in the seat, and this time we bring another one of the faces in the Mount Rushmore of Gran Turismo 7 content creators and YouTubers. Surely one that a lot of people were already waiting a long time for, and we finally have it right here. We finally are able to get a little bit of the story of none other than Rory Alexander, aka Irius, right here with us. How's it going, Rory? Good to see you.
Good, thank you, mate. Firstly, just an apologies because it should have been a lot earlier. So, for you guys wouldn't know, but Kizzi's been sort of trying to get us on this for a little while, and just other things have been getting in the way. So, I just wanted to put out an apologies. It should have come way sooner, and that's on me.
Like I said, one of the Mount Rushmore faces in the GT7 space, as much as he doesn't like to say it.
I'm not sure about
believe
that.
it itself.
I'm not sure about that. But I appreciate the sentiment, but no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right. So as always, we start with a couple softballs, and in your case, Irius is a very, very unique name, even showing up right there in the big PC that you have right behind you. So where does Irius come from? How did it originate, and how did it stick?
Well, it's a marketing nightmare. If you have a look at my first few videos on YouTube, you'll actually notice that whilst there is 4 S's in this, I actually had 5 S's in probably my first 20 or 30 thumbnails. So it's not only others who struggle with the spelling of it, it's me too. But the origin of it, it goes all the way back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Did you ever play that game? Did you play that?
I did, and I was terrible at it. I am very bad at FPS games. So, could have never made a career out of that.
Okay, so you might know the reference with this, and some of those who are listening might know the reference. So, basically, it is a sort of like a what would you call it? A transformation or an evolution of Here He Is. Right, so that's how you say it. Here he is, here he is. And basically what was happening is on Call of Duty, I had a very unique playing style. It's probably known as camping. I was the worst camper that you could imagine. I was the guy who'd be hiding in a bush. I'd jump out with a shotgun and shoot you, and then I would go to the next bush up to where they would spawn from. So they anticipate I'd be in that bush, but I'd shoot them in the back in the next bush. And this would continue until they worked me out, and they did it. Very, very fun for me, but not fun for anybody else. Very cowardice way of doing it. But I am what I am.
Some could say strategic.
Yeah, well, yes. Strategic, cowardice, whichever way you want to do it. There was a house on the top of a hill. And what we would do is we would always go and hide in this house. We'd have claymores outside the doors. We'd all have shotguns. Like, I'd be hiding on the bed. My friend would be hiding on the wardrobe. Someone would be hiding in the bathroom. We were just the worst players. And we would eventually get overthrown because we were terrible. And then the idea was that we would all kind of reconvene, and we would say, right, how are we going to get this house back? Because this is the only way we're going to win. And have you ever seen the clip of Leroy Jenkins?
I have heard of the reference. Reference, yes.
So it's basically where a guy is, I think it was like World of Warcraft or something. A big crew. They're all saying, right, we're going to do this, that, and the other. They're getting their mission together. And then one guy just goes, Leroy Jenkins, and he goes off by himself, right? It's similar to that, but I'm shouting, here he is, as I go up the stairs, as I've stormed the place by myself. And when Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think it was Modern Warfare 3 came out on the PS4, I needed a PSN. And I just put here he is, like just like that. So because it's shouting like here he is, that's kind of like where it all came from. And it kind of stuck, and I haven't been able to get rid of it ever since, to be honest with you. But yes, that's the long but illustrious story of where my ridiculous PSN name came from.
Now, you say that you haven't been able to get rid of it. Are you actually making an effort of getting rid of it?
I changed my channel name at about 30,000 subscribers from Aries to Rory Alexander because I was like, look, this is no good. This is not very marketable. But the way that I kind of kept it because do you know Marquise Brownlee, the tech guy?
Yeah.
But he's got MKBHD in the background, so MKBHD. So that's kind of how I'm kind of hanging on to it, just at a very, very poor man's level than Marquis Brownlee. I do feel very lucky with it. You know, it's my favorite game in the world. You know, I love this thing. This game's literally in my blood. And to have not only people recognize it, but, and I don't know if we'll talk about it later or not, but just the reception that I get from people is, they are always so nice. And I feel so grateful for it because it's not like, oh, people are throwing shade my way or anything like that. They're all just really, really nice all the time. And I'm not quite sure why that is, but I'm very, very grateful for it.
And we'll touch on it for sure because there's plenty to uncover in the journey of Rory Alexander so far. And to start with that journey, of course, we always like to ask, how did you become a sim racer? What's your sim racing origin story? How did it all start from the very beginning?
Well, I think in terms of, so it all came from my love of motor racing and my dad's love of motor racing. And my earliest memory of motor racing is when Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher came together at Adelaide. So not when Damon Hill won, but you know, the classic like flip sideways. Yeah. That is my earliest memory of motorsport. And I was absolutely gutted. Damon Hill was British, is British. Schumacher was like his big rival. He could have had a Brit to win. He was in a British team, you know. So for that to happen, I felt like he cheated him at the time as what would I have been, 9-year-old boy at the time. I was gutted, horrified. And then the redemption story, or now I know is a redemption story of Damon Hill coming back and winning it the next year at Suzuka. That famous Murray Walker quote about him saying he needs to stop because he's got a lump in his throat or whatever it was. I was watching that at 7:00 in the morning. I love watching Suzuka. I mean, I've kind of gone on Formula One these days, but I love that early morning Formula One. If it's on, there's something about early morning Formula One. I don't know what it is, but I used to watch that with my dad because I used to not be able to. We'd always go out on a Sunday, and I used to not be kind of like up long enough to watch the highlights on BBC One or whatever it was. But that was where the love of motorsport came from. I then got, I think it was F1 97, I think it was, and I played that to death. And I can't remember if that came first or Virtua Racing came first. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, will be able to correct me, but Virtua Racing was on the Mega Drive. So probably that was before, actually. And it kind of just evolved from there. I was very into like cartoony type stuff before Gran Turismo came around. So some of my favorites were Micro Machines. And then Gran Turismo came out. And that was it for me. That was the one. I played Gran Turismo 1, 2, 3, and sort of halfway through 4. But I went to university around the time Gran Turismo 4 came out, I think. And then also the problem was I got so bored of the AI just going around like on rails, you know, and they just wipe you out and this, that, and the other. So I kind of got bored of it, and I got into Call of Duty as I mentioned earlier, and where the name came from. So the story is quite poetic, really. And the reason I liked it is because I was going to get up against other humans, and like I could outsmart people. People would outsmart me. Like there was like different characters. There was like people were hot-headed. Some people were like more kind of reserved. I was definitely more a reserved type player, and I then played that, and then I saw that Gran Turismo had gone online, and I was like, wow, like these guys were all playing online against other people, and the graphics were great because I hadn't played 5 or 6, I don't think, and then came back for Gran Turismo Sport. So yeah, that's why it's always been there, but I kind of outgrew it when I was younger, had a small hiatus, and now obviously I'm back.
It's your lifetime.
Yes.
It's your eat, leave, breathe, sleep, that kind
everything.
Of thing.
It is my passion, my obsession. yeah, my vice is everything. It
Yeah.
is everything. It's everything.
And would you say that when GT Sport became a thing, and of course the online racing was sort of the emblem of it, would you say that what brought you back was the game itself, or was the fact that you could race against other people?
It was the it was like a golden bullet. It was the link. Like,
Yeah.
I felt that was the thing that was always missing. Because I was always too good for the AI, as we always were at probably, an A+ driver, or maybe like many other sort of levels. We can eat the AI up for breakfast, like normally, like the non-Sophie AI.
Yeah.
So I found it really boring. Like, I'd have to dumb down the cars I was doing to make it even like a race, and I was like, this isn't fun. They're not doing what race drivers do. And I was on honeymoon. I got married in 2017. I was in honeymoon. It was like October, I think it was. I don't know when Gran Turismo Sport came up, but I remember it so vividly. I was sitting around a pool in a place called Nusa Lembongan in Bali, which is like a little island just off the Gili Islands. Went down a YouTube rabbit hole and saw it must have been a Super GT video. It must have done. But it was... Then I saw that they were all online and racing online, and the graphics were great, and I hadn't touched or thought about Gran Turismo for 5, 6, 7 years. I was like, when I get home, I'm buying a PS4. And I'd always been quite... It sounds funny now, but, obviously, I was always quite entrepreneurial, and I always had an interest in creating stuff.
Yeah.
So, I thought, right, when I get home, I'm going to do that. I bought the PS4 with the Red Dead Redemption pack, and then bought Gran Turismo as well, and then made my first video, and things kind of got out of control from there, really.
8.5 years ago, that pretty much was when you started the channel, if I remember correctly.
Mad.
And speaking to that entrepreneurial mind, you, at that time, you still had sort of a full-time job. You were just a regular, an average Rory, as some people might say. And then you just started the channel. You just kept it on from there. What was that drive, or what were you chasing when you got into that channel? Was it just like...
I wouldn't say I was chasing. I would say I was running. I was running away from corporate life. I hated it. It just wasn't me. It's probably funny, probably everyone's going, yeah, of course it wasn't you. Look what you're doing now. But at the time, it wasn't my purpose. I just didn't resonate with it. So a little backstory to it. My dad owns his own business. He's like a builder. He's got his own building firm. My father-in-law is, or was, a director at the housing association where I met my wife. And so I had a very skewed perception of success. I had to get up the top. I had to get to the top of the rat race, like the pinnacle, if you like.
Yeah.
And the closer I got to it, I was like, I don't know if I like this. It's not as good as everyone says it is. And I finally got there in 2019. I got there, I think, and I was 33. I became a director for the first time, and I thought everything's great. I'm gonna have all the money in the world. I'm gonna have a glass office. I'm gonna play golf on a Wednesday. That was, believe it or not the case. I still didn't have any money. I just had more problems. I worked harder, and what was happening was I was doing the Monday night streams, and I was earning more on a Monday night stream for 3 hours than I would at the pinnacle of my job as a director, dealing with all the problems and all the stress. And that was kind of the thing. I was like, I just got to keep going. This is it. And then when the opportunity came to take 2 weeks off when Gran Turismo 7 came out, I was just very lucky that no one else did it at the same time. That's, you need luck in this game, or any game. Everyone who is successful at anything, there is a point where they got lucky. I am only sat here because nobody else is, if that makes sense. I'm just sitting in a seat, the guy who went full time when Gran Turismo came out, and that's it. That's honestly how I feel about it. I was running away from corporate life, and another drive now is to try and wrench my wife out of corporate life, because it pains me.
And you just got to try stuff.
So many quotes, right? There's so many quotes. Michael Jordan, you miss 100 of the shots you don't take.
Some people might say that's Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, is it? Oh, fine. Okay, I thought it was Michael Jordan.
I always thought it was Michael as well at the start. But
is it actually Wayne Gretzky?
I think it actually is Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, God, okay.
And if you watch The Office, some people might say it's Michael Scott. That would be for me.
Right. Okay. Whoever it was, I've got to thank them because they are part of the reason where you just swing for the fences, right? What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. You never know if you never try. And on that sort of same line, I guess. The finding of people sort of like getting in touch with your channel in those very early beginnings. How did it feel when you saw like new people coming in, connecting with you, understanding like where you came from and just see the growth at that very early stage of YouTube?
It's just overwhelming, to be honest with you. I remember still the first time that I got 1,000 viewers on a live stream. I was at Suzuka. I think I was in a Corvette. And it happened as I went through 130R, and I just broke down. I couldn't believe it because I never thought it would happen to me. I never thought, and to be honest, taking those 2 weeks was my last swing. Like, in all honesty, if that didn't work, then I would have just gone, right, no worries. You tried, Rory. It's not, your face doesn't fit. Because I feel a lot of YouTube is your face has to fit. And you have to have everybody's unique makeup. Either for some reason, and I'm very, very grateful for this, that whoever I am and whatever my circumstance is and however I drive and the way I make my videos and all that sort of stuff just fits. And I can't put my finger on it, but it's some sort of recipe that ticks boxes for people. And yeah, you can't stop running with that. You have to keep going.
Yeah. How did that shift materialize? And like, what was the change in your mindset that you said, let me just like stick in with these big hitters to see how it goes?
So basically I needed to do more evergreen content. All I was doing was a daily race video on a dirty driver. Basically, that was kind of what I was doing because it was getting the most clicks. My biggest one at the time was a dirty driver. So I thought that was, repeat the same thing, keep doing that. But what I found is daily races are obviously every week. I don't know, they were daily races once, but they're every week. And the analogy I use is nobody watches last week's match of the day. Or no one watches last week's NFL roundup or college game day, right? No one's interested because they're already on to the next. So if you do a daily race video, you've got a shelf life of 7 days and then no one's interested anymore. But then I could do a video on something that someone could click anytime and it would keep going. It doesn't need to get out the blocks as quick, but it will keep going and going and going and going and going. And if you stack those up, like if you take we call them the difference between just a daily race video and a big swing. And if you swing and one goes, great. And you stack them up, then they'll keep going. And the big challenge is you just got to do things that I know Steve did his first. Super GT did the 200 lap first. But you've got to push yourself to the limit and try and do things either that people aren't prepared to do or want to see someone go through the pain of doing. And that's kind of my philosophy with it, really. One thing I'm wrestling with now is I had a very arbitrary, like, I've got to upload every week. I've got to do a daily race video on a Tuesday and I have to do a race video on a Sunday, a big swing on a Sunday. And I would just half kill myself doing it. And it was really hampering the size of the video we could do, the size of the challenge we could do, because you only had X days to get it filmed, get it edited, and get it out. Yeah. Now I'm really, really trying to just be like, right, videos will be ready when they're ready. And I'm just concerned that people will forget who I am and people will think I'm getting complacent and all this sort of stuff. But I'd love to get to a point where I could just do a video every 3 weeks, but a massive hour-long monster that nobody's ever done, and just repeat. But I'm a long way mentally from that.
Yeah, as long as you know that you put 100%, the numbers are the numbers.
That's exactly. That's the consistent. As long as you do 100%, then as you say, the numbers are the numbers, and you can rest easy at night. And you use the growth mindset, right? Either we put it in the yes pile, great, that works, we do that again, or we put it in the no pile and we don't do that again. But either way, we've learned something. So a failure, there is no such thing as failure. Like success is just running out of ways to fail. That's all it is. And the only way you're going to run out of ways to fail is to increase your failure rate. And you're only going to do that by swinging every time. Like I did a video, I saw the kids were watching this, were glued to this like quiz video. You probably haven't seen it because no one's seen it. But I did a video on it where it was like guessing the Gran Turismo tracks, and it took so long to do. And it was honestly, it was absolutely awful. And it was like, I spent so much time on it, and it's like, no worries. Like, yes, it was terrible, but now we know we won't do that again.
We don't do it again. And exactly. I guess on that same line, you've tried so many different lanes of content. Like some of the ones that really have shown a lot of success is the one sneaking into e-lobbies as an A+ driver, the 200 lapper sort of summaries. Recently, you've done the E2A+ challenge in 5 days. You've even gotten Aaron involved, or your wife has been involved in some of the videos. So there's for someone that is probably new to watching you or only sort of touches the surface of what you've done, there's no limit to what you do. Like there's literally no limit to the ideas. So how do you get to decide or what's, I guess, like the framework where you choose how far you take an idea whenever you see it as successful, and when you know when it's time to stop it and probably move on into something new?
So let's take E2A+ for an example. I got that from Fortnite. They do this thing where it is like, I snuck into this, or I snuck into this guy's tournament, or I think it was someone like Ninja snuck into a guy called Courage's thing, or the other way around, or whatever it was. And he was literally there like that, like that. And he was literally, and it was like a speech bubble saying Courage or something like that. And I was like, we can do something with this. Like nobody's done it on Gran Turismo that I had seen. Let's do it. Let's just give it a go. And I remember I was on holiday. I just released it just before I went on holiday, and it was absolutely crazy. And it was brilliant. And it was like, right, how can we do this again? How can we repeat this? People went mad for it. So we did E2A+, and then we did E2A+ in America. I think E2A+ in Asia, or the APAC region, or whatever you want to call it. Did E2A+ on a controller, and then just did another one. And what you'll find is like it just kind of drops down a little bit, and you've just got to keep doing things while they're working. Repeat them, but then the audience will get a bit fatigued by it. So it's like, right, you've got to do something else. You've got to do something else. You can't just keep doing the same stuff. Yeah. And if you know a format works, you have to almost drip feed it in, because if you can get a bunch of different pillars of content. So I was doing educational content for a long time. They seem to do really, really well. Like money grinds always do really well. And like, just how do you put a different spin on that someone hasn't already done, but elevates it and makes it evergreen? Like if you can do that, you found win. You found the formula. You win. Yeah. But again, like going back to our point of, you don't know how it's going to work, so you just got to push, give it a go, and if it doesn't work, great. Let's see why it didn't work, and don't make those same mistakes again. But while you've got a good format, milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah, and on a little segue, of course, like you've been driving in Gran Turismo for ages and ages and ages. A+ driver, you've literally driven with almost every single name in the game that you can think of. Whether that's like an online race or an invitational in a World Series event, people literally watch you. I can certainly speak for myself. When I started playing and I started watching your videos, I started watching your channel, and at some point I just said, I want to just get to A+ so I can finally have Rory on the track. And lo and behold, that happened. And I still remember the day right before the World Series event in London where we were racing at Grand Valley Highway, and it went completely kaput. And I felt so bad that I even sent you a Discord message to apologize. Yeah.
And, what did we do? Did we crash into each other or something?
I think, like if you do the reverse, it was like a group 4. If you do the reverse and you that have like corner. This little like bridge section where you have like a 2 left-handers, And I think it was like the last lap, and we were going like side by side, but it just got a little messy, and it just went.
This happens. It happens.
And literally, like, me and my partner, we went to the London event. We got to see you for the first time. We shook hands, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, "Rory, I'm sorry for the crash yesterday."
What did I say?
You said if what did you say?
Did I say if I have £1 for every time I crashed into someone,
exactly.
I'd be rich?
That is
right.
Exactly that.
It's a go-to line, that one.
So, but yeah, like, not just myself, but I bet so many other people think the same thing whenever they see your name. Like, they wish that they shared the track with you, and when they get to do it, they feel so like joyful, so like entertained, so happy about it. How does that make you feel when like people tell you they shared the track with you one time in a daily, and you literally make their day with that?
It's wild, to be honest with you. I can't believe it. I remember I was in Interlagos. I remember I was downstairs. I was on my controller. I had my bulldog next to me. My wife was next to me, and I was in a lobby with Z28. And he's still, even when Z's in a lobby now, my heart starts going, because I still hold him to that high sort of thing. I was like, Aaron, this guy's got 15,000 subscribers. Like,
he renamed him Sector 1 or something, I think it is.
I loved season. Like, I thought it was quality. But yeah, I still remember, and I still get the butterflies, when Steve's in a lot, when Super GC's in a lobby, when like these world tour drivers are in a lobby, like, I still get that. Like, I'm still, just because there's an absolutely ridiculous number next to my name and I've got all these amazing, like, all this stuff around, it doesn't change, it doesn't change who you are, or certainly doesn't change who I am. And I still remember, because it wasn't that long ago, I had those exact same feelings. I remember when I overtook Nisman, he's probably before your time, but there's a guy called Nisman. I remember overtaking him at Suzuka, and he was like in the top lobbies. I still remember when I got my first ever like top split race, when we were at Red Bull Ring in the Group 2 cars. I think I did a video on it. Like, I still remember. So when people say it to me, I find it difficult I don't really know how to react. It's difficult. It doesn't feel real, really. And I think I would question why. I'm like, I'm lucky to be on track with you guys, like, not the other way around. And it is so nice, it is so nice, but I don't understand it. If I'm honest, it's just me.
Yeah, it's just incredible sometimes when you see the community finding some type of purpose, and just getting to race with like another average guy that somehow just happens to have a big YouTube channel. But for them, it's like almost like a dream come true in some cases, or just like a goal ticked out of the box for their lifetime. It's insane the reach that it can have.
Yes, incredible.
Speaking of reach, in your case as well, not only has the driving allowed you the opportunity to race with other people in the community, it's also allowed you to collaborate with big brands, have big partnerships. The names of Thrustmaster, SimLab, Y-Food, PC Specialist, Holy, however many more you could name. Some even to the point of opening doors beyond the room where you're sitting right now. Like, you've gotten to go into trips, events, also all those kinds of things. So how the start of those relationships with those brands change the view of what was actually possible in the YouTube world, and as a full-time job?
Well, so I've got a marketing degree, and obviously I know how to talk to people professionally because I had a real job for 15 years. So I get it. Like, I don't know if you heard this phrase, like, you can do it on Sunday, but can you do it on like a cold Tuesday night in Stoke? Have you heard that phrase before about football? Like,
no,
basically, it's like
I think I've
the
heard it.
roughest thing, right? Can you hold a conversation with someone at like 7 on a Tuesday morning in the kitchen, and you go, how's your weekend? Oh, it's great. How was yours? Neither of you care at all about what your weekend was, but you just got to get through it because you got to get your coffee, because that's the most exciting thing in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So I'm well versed in having those conversations. I must have written thousands of emails to every brand you can imagine. I've got them in my inbox. I had a little template that I used to just enter how many subscribers I had. And Tiny Temper did a song where he says, I think it's called Written in the Stars, where he says, you've got to shout till they hear you out. And that is such a, just keep going, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. And I remember when I got my first free wheel, it was from Fanatec. I got my first free wheel, picked up the 2019 Sim Racing Expo. Absolutely, it was incredible. Like, but then the next stage up is people want to pay you to use their stuff, and that is the next level up. And if you can stack those, like how many views you get on YouTube doesn't really matter anymore. Really, you don't have to be a certain way or act a certain way, because like you've got the foundation of what you want. Like you've got the salary there. Like, without being vulgar about it, I make more off YouTube through my sponsorships and things like that than I do in my YouTube studio. And so therefore I can be me. I don't like, that's why I don't swear and stuff, because you don't, like, a brand doesn't want that. Like, they want ambassadors.
You have to maintain the professional image.
I'm not going to go and ram someone off track. I'm not going to go tell a potentially 15-year-old kid or a 12-year-old kid who's having a day off from school that they're this, that, and the other because they've hit me in a daily race. You know, you just can't do that. You have to rise above it and think like all your sponsors are watching you. You have to represent them well. And if you can do that, then, you know, you can make it a very long and, you know, sort of lucrative kind of career. There's a TED talk from Simon Sulek. I don't know if you know Simon Sulek. He's like a big business mind, right? It's called Infinite Games. And you might know the TED talk, but if you don't, like, I'll say it for everyone else. So there's two types of games that everyone plays. There's the finite game, like basketball or something. There's a set bunch of rules. You need to win. You've got to shoot the hoops and all that sort of stuff. And then when it's done, right? There's a winner and there's a loser. And you can't say, oh, can I go again? Like, time's up at the end of the fourth quarter. I think it's quarters, right? In basketball thing. So that's finite games. There's an infinite game where you're playing to stay in the game. Like, if you can just stay in the game and not lose the game, then you will win by sort of definition. And that's very much my philosophy on it. If I can just stay in the game, that's why, you know, you've got to, the only way that I'm going to lose or get this wrong or finish my YouTube career or whatever is if I run out of motivation, which motivation is superseded by discipline. So that will never happen. Or if I mess up the money. And again, I will never allow it to happen, because you live well beyond your means, right? Like just the same as when you have a real job, you know, you have money put aside for if you were to lose your job. And like, imagine if I did a bunch of absolutely, well, worse than usual videos and I didn't get any revenue. We're good, like, for a long time. So that's the way I kind of do things. And I would implore young creators or creators who are earlier in the process to do it. Market yourself, market your brand, and be squeaky clean, because people will start watching, and you don't want to get, you don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. And even if it wasn't a thing where like you have brands working with you, like even if you're like just running by yourself, just the sole fact of doing the right thing, like that already sort of opens many, many doors. And you just like keep a clean conscience as well, right? Like you just know that you're trying like to be the best performer, the best human that you can be. And that should be the ultimate goal, not just because you want to try to get money or sponsorships out of it, but just because you want to try to do it right.
And also I know that, you know, my parents, my in-laws, my friends, they all watch this. My ex-colleagues watch this. My boys will watch this one day, and someone's going to run up to them with a phone and go, "That's your dad. I found your dad on the internet," one day. And I want them to be, "I found your dad on the internet. He's really cool. So you're cool." I don't want, "I found your dad on the internet. Look what he's done here." And I don't want it to be like I think a lot about that is I representing my boys. I want them to be proud of who their dad is. And I want people to think well of them because of who their dad is. Not like, I don't want them to be a laughing stock and be bullied because of who their dad is. And yeah, so that's another thing in the mix of why I try and keep things, controlled, really.
Definitely. And if you had to put like a definition on those experiences, how would you describe it? Like, what's the feeling behind it? Did it ever occur to you that could be you one day?
And it's still, do you know what? I have something to remind me that what I've done. So this is like, these are my lanyards.
Yeah.
And they are here on my rig because sometimes I get down on myself like everybody does. And sometimes I've just got to look down and go, oh, you did that. Oh, yeah, you did that. Or YouTube invited you there. Or, media on Gran Turismo, like having a Gran Turismo thing that says media, or SRO VIP, which is like the Spa 24 hours, or like my Le Mans badge. And it is absolutely unbelievable. And one day it does feel like I'm going to wake up. Honestly, it doesn't feel real. So I don't kind of have a feeling towards it. Which I don't know if that sounds strange, or if anyone can relate to it. But honestly, they feel like someone else's lanyards. They feel like I saw Jimmy. I did that because Jimmy's got them. So Jimmy keeps all his lanyards. That's why I do it. So I'm just the same as everyone else, right? I look up to the same guys as everybody else. And no, I just feel incredibly lucky, and just incredibly lucky and incredibly grateful that I've had all these opportunities, and I'm going to keep them because one day these things will stop coming, and I want to have fond memories. So
live the life of the fullest, like they say.
Try to.
How has the opportunity of knowing members of the community changed your perspective on connecting with your audience, connecting with the viewer? Like, has it made anything different from your approach of how you do things up to date?
No, I mean, God, I almost got emotional with this. My friends didn't accept me for doing this. It's another quote. Sorry, I keep talking about quotes, but I live my life by them. Before you're successful, people ask you why. And after you're successful, people ask you how. None of my friends, I was the butt of all jokes. It was like being back at school. I didn't tell anyone about my YouTube channel publicly till I had 30,000 subscribers. I was petrified. I remember one of my friends saying, I'm going to tell everyone about your ears. And I'm like, I was petrified, right, of doing it. And so it was almost like an embarrassing thing for me. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I'd found my purpose, but I was so scared, of everyone finding out and saying, like, I was embarrassed for my wife. I was embarrassed for myself. Like, I was 35 or something. A 35-year-old guy making videos that no one watches on Gran Turismo. What an absolute loser. But I was petrified of my parents finding out. I remember when my in-laws found out. And do you know what it is about meeting people from the community? I absolutely love it, and I'm so grateful for it. And I don't know if you see this or if you can vouch for it, but when I meet people I've never met for like the first time, I always give them a hug, or I'm super embracive with them because they accept me for who I am. And when people who you grew up with don't accept you for who you are, I found almost like my tribe, as it were. I found my people, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful that people understand me and accept me for who I am and accept me for my passion and that sort of stuff. Because at home, not my wife or anything like that, but as in the wider my friend group, they're not interested. It's nice now because the jokes have stopped, but.
And because they see the success.
Yeah, but so as an example, my videos were put on a stag do. My videos were put on the bus. I wasn't on the bus, but they were put on in the little TV in the middle, and they all had a good laugh at one of my videos, with me talking over the top of it, and they always do impressions of me. One of my friends actually said, "I hate you for doing this." And
wow!
I didn't have anyone else, so I accepted it. I don't have to anymore. So yes, very, very grateful to everyone, and that's why people get the embraces that they do because I'm so thankful for them.
And I guess to to potentially bring the luck of one lucky viewer out there that has met Rory before. Let's see if Rory is able to answer this one. So has there been a specific moment with a viewer or someone that sticks at the top of your head that really stuck with you, like just the experience of getting to meet them, getting to speak to them? Like, can you think about something in particular?
Loads of them. Pascal's a big one. Obviously, Pascal, for those who don't know, who Pascal wasn't very well. He's fine now. Touch wood, he continues to be. He just popped into a stream one day and said, I'm going to buy a wheel after his chemo. And my mum was recently ill, and again, touch wood, she's fine now. Like, I was like, you don't need to wait. You can't wait. This is the time you need it most. So we ended up arranging him a wheel and all that sort of stuff. And the community helped out, and it was incredible. Meeting him for the first time and meeting his dad, and the love his dad, just the look in his dad's eyes towards me would just, honestly, it almost broke me there and then. Pascal was massive. Loads of them, like even people I knew who YouTube viewer was immediately. Like, I'd never met him before, but I knew who he was, and I knew it was Paul. And I don't know why. I just like that's Paul, and like loads and loads of people. Like, I met this guy. I bumped into someone round the back of it sounds weird, but at like 7 o'clock in the morning at Spa, at the middle of is it La Source, the first hairpin?
Yeah.
There was like a truck in the corner. And I was literally walking around there, and I bumped into this guy. Literally bumped into him. Some Kiwi guy whose wife was like a diplomat who was living over in, I think it was Germany. I've forgotten his name, and it's gonna do my head in. But it was like Rory, and I was like, what do you mean, man? Like, it's like it's like 7:30. We're squeezing past each other between trucks at Spa, and just little meetings like that. All of them. To be honest with you, like everybody, like I know at certain points that people will say, like, there's RL250 who I remember. I'm trying to think who else there is. Just so many names that I remember from so long ago. It's just incredible. Honestly, it really, really is. I feel very, very lucky.
That's amazing.
Sound like a broken record, I'm sure, but it's true.
And one of the things that always sticks with me is the moment that you said in the middle of the Nürburgring race that in order to do something like this, you have to find the right team. You have to find the right partners. How do you look back on how the team came together, how the whole process of preparing and supporting each other to get to that stage and performing how we did? Like, how do you look back into those early stages? Was it how you looked after it, or like, was it way better than what you thought?
It was way better than I thought. But in terms of like, quite as active as if I selected everyone, that wasn't. I was lucky that you guys even said yes and were up for it. You said earlier about people feeling like they know people. Like, I watched so much of you, Sparks, and even before we met each other at the mansion, like, I felt I knew you guys anyway, and so it was a no-brainer for me. Like, absolute no-brainer. And the way it went is exactly kind of how I thought it would go, is 4 like-minded people struggling, like, quick enough, but didn't quite like have the rub of the green and all this sort of stuff. So flashes of what we could do. But yeah, it was just magical, I think. And people bought into the story, and because Gran Turismo always gets kind of put down as a simcade or whatever, it doesn't mean that it's any worse or any better than anything else. It's just some is for the hardcore niche of sim racing, and some is more for the turn on and play. And just because you want to do the turn on and play doesn't mean you're any lesser of a driver or whatever than, these guys who have all the gear and the motion and the triple screens and stuff. And I think it was nice to show that. And I think we did show that yes, it was unfortunate that we had the crash in both of them, to be honest. But I think we showed that flashes of, we can compete. Like, even when I used the T598, it's a £300 wheel. I definitely had the cheapest wheel out of the entire field at Spa. Entire field. I mean, there may have been someone with a G29 or something, but, we competed. And, those things are magical, and you have a bond when you do those things. Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, like picking each other up, and I love the team element. I do love it. So yeah, it was great, and I wouldn't want to do it with 3 other guys. So thank you for saying yes, and let's roll on to the next one, which we've got coming up.
I mean, in my case, just I feel grateful that you even thought of my name for it.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, just I don't know.
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
I was there. Like, I was there, what, 4 years ago? 3 years ago? No, however many years ago. You're just earlier in the process. That's literally all it is. Like almost at the bottom of the bell curve, right? And same with everyone. They're like, as long as you keep going, you will have a shot. Like, just don't be. So many better creators than me have come and gone, but because I've stayed the course. Like, you just get a couple of subscribers here on one day. Like, you turn up and you don't, like, on days that you don't want to do it, you turn up, you get a few more. That video you didn't want to do, you get a few more. That short and they stack up and stack up and stack up, and then you end up with, a ridiculous number that you could never have imagined. But but yeah, you guys just keep going, and that's how I see you. Is you just I'm no better than anybody. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm worse than most. But I've just stayed the course. That's it. Like, a bad smell won't go away.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And so this is a hall pass question. So you can answer it, and you feel free to skip if you don't want to touch on it. But making this your full-time living, making this your full-time job, how does the reality of it compare to what you ever thought when you actually started? Was it better? Was it worse? Was it exactly how you pictured it? Was it way more complicated? How do you see it?
How do I see it? That's a good question. I don't really know, because I didn't know what it was going to be like. All I knew is that I couldn't keep doing what I was going to. I couldn't just throw I couldn't have done that for the next 30 years. Like, getting to be a director at 35, I'm so glad I got there so early and saw the view from the top was not what I wanted, right? Because I could still be working there now. Like, if I hadn't got there, what if I got there at 50 and then was like, oh, actually, that's not what I wanted? Then, you're in big depression street, right? You'd be devastated. So for me, my back's against the wall with this, and I'm not very good at celebrating stuff. My wife will say this. We still need to go out for 100,000. We need to still go out for dinner for this. We haven't done that yet, and that was like 3 years ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, because I don't. The bigger that this gets, the more I've got to lose. Is the way. It's probably not very healthy, and probably a couple of people are probably smacking their laptops or their phones, going, "You're an idiot. You should enjoy it." But I can't, because I'm not done yet. And Erin's still working. I still got a mortgage. The boys' school fees aren't sitting there in a bank account ready to go. So if I get this wrong, the boys will have to go to a normal school. And Erin, there's no prospect of retiring Erin early and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I kind of almost don't even have time to reflect on it. I just got to keep going. That's it. And I'll finish when I'm done, and I can rest when I'm done. But for now, there's no time to sit back and enjoy it. We've got work to do.
Yeah. Immediately the phrase that comes to my head was one that you said, "Mama didn't raise no quitter."
No, yeah, absolutely not. Or do you know what? I quit on enough things that when I finally found my passion, I won't quit.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah, won't quit.
Yeah. Where do you think the franchise sits right now? How do you see the state of it currently and moving forward into a potential GTA that people have been talking about?
Yeah. So we are kind of, if you look on average, we're due one reasonably soon. And I don't know, for me, Gran Turismo is still the absolute pinnacle blue chip. Like, it's almost like, with, I don't know what the word is, but like glue, like you say, "Oh, pass me the Pritt stick." Or when you want a pen, you say, "Oh, pass me a Sharpie," but you really need a marker. Like, give me a sim racing game. Like, it's Gran Turismo. Like, Forza almost had a shot. They completely fluff their lines with that. And nothing else even touches it. Nothing else. From a sim racing background, with the amount of people, I think Kaz said and I don't know if this is right. I heard this on the Traction GG podcast. Apparently, there's 2 million active users every month on Gran Turismo. I don't know if that's true, but it's not unfathomable, right?
Yeah.
And that's, if you compare that with other franchises, even with iRacing, I think iRacing has 300,000 live subscriptions. I think that's what I also heard on the Traction podcast. So even if you take it as that, right, it shows the scale of this thing.
Yeah.
It's not stopping. There's no way it's stopping. And I'm hoping we get one, but with the internet and stuff these days and these patches, I think they can still revive it. We saw it with the hypercar update. We've seen it. If they keep the content fresh, I think we can keep doing it. We obviously heavily play sport mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking from a sport mode perspective. They do need to revisit that, like things like I shouldn't be envious of my 4 and 6-year-old boy playing Mario Kart World because they've got 30 karts on the grid and I've got 16 on my rig that I'm sitting in like this.
Yes, super elaborate.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Or however many it is. It's more than 16 anyway. So I think the platform's there. They just need to revamp it a little bit. And I don't know if we need GT8. I don't know if we need it. If we just had the newer cars, if we did a fresh suite of cars with the GT3s and the GT4s and, upgraded the cars, certainly the race cars anyway, because they do an okay job with the road cars.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the track selection. I think it's good. There's a few glaring omissions, like I would love to see kind of like Silverstone and Sebring, but no, for me, we don't necessarily need GT8 if they, from a sport mode perspective, if they did things like added quali before the race, enlarged the grid size, did things like teams driver swaps, held like official stuff like iRacing. Other people are doing it. There's no reason that GT couldn't have that, or like a continued kind of Nations Cup or things like that. So I don't think we necessarily need GT8, but I don't think we've kind of hit the pinnacle hit the ceiling of GT7 yet. But when all the dust settles, I know I think it's GT6 goes down as the worst in history. I think Gran Turismo 7 is going to age awfully. I really do, because it's basically Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
With a few menu books and a few things, but nothing's really changed. It's actually got smaller grids.
Yeah.
And the lobbies are worse, like the online lobbies, and as in like the private lobbies. Sorry, we've only just had passwords. You still got the judging and stuff. I'd love to see like a world server as well. Mm-hmm. That would be super.
That
cool.
would be super cool. Yeah.
Don't know if you can do that.
I'm pretty sure they could. I mean, we speak from a non-developer perspective, but I'm pretty sure that it should be possible.
And they've got enough money. Yeah. Come on, you've sold enough copies.
100. How is it? 100 million copies.
100 million copies.
Yeah,
100 million copies.
Definitely, the money is there.
I mean, I don't know what that is. That's like I don't know what that must be. Call of Duty numbers. The only one that eclipses that, I'm sure, is Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yes, correct. But we know how GTA 6 is going down the books so far. We don't want to touch on that. Now, what happens if suddenly Gran Turismo disappears? How does Rory Alexander reinvent himself moving forward? What would you do without Gran Turismo?
Don't say that. I'm going to have a nightmare about that tonight. Ring up Aaron and say, I've had a terrible nightmare. Like, Gran Turismo has stopped. Like, I have absolutely no idea. All my eggs are in this basket, all of it, and that's by design. I'm not here to, I'm only where I am because of Gran Turismo. That's it. That's the recipe that somehow works for me. Like, if I went and did iRacing, it's not going to work. I'm not quick enough. People don't appreciate that sort of stuff. I don't think it's great, particularly for streaming either, because you crash into people, there's full damage, blah, blah, blah. I have absolutely no idea. All I can say is I hope it doesn't happen.
Same here.
That is a scary thought. I've never thought of that. Damn you! Why did you put that in my head?
I feel it's sort of like an interesting thought, because surely you'll find a way. Surely you'll make something work.
I'd give it a shot. But I don't think, I don't think I could do it with anything else. Honestly, like so much of this success on YouTube for anybody is because your face fits and the formula is perfect. That's it. How many times we've seen people go to other games and like not just in this niche, but any niche, or change who they are or do what they do, and like, and it just doesn't work because that secret sauce that they stumbled across, doesn't replicate elsewhere. Like I couldn't. You're not going to go watch me. I don't know. Imagine if I did, I don't know, travel vlogging. You're not going to watch me go on a travel vlog because I don't know what I'm talking about, and you're not interested in what I think about this food and that hotel room and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if Gran Turismo went down the pan, I don't know, mate.
That answer gets tabled for another episode.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
And on that note, moving into the closers of the episode, as always, we like to welcome the guests to give out tips to any newcomer or sort of already in the journey sim racers and or content creators. So your best 3 tips that you can give to both of them, or 3 separately, however you want to play it out. What would be Rory Alexander's Bible for sim racers and content creators?
So three things I would say is work as hard as you can. It's not about what you do from 9 till 5. It's what you do from 5 till 9. Like both sides. I'm talking like 5 till 9 in the evening. I'm up at 4:30 every day till the kids get up. Like you have to make these things work, and everything, all the dreams and everything you ever want is hiding behind the work that you're avoiding doing. Like everything you ever want is there. You just have to push through it and just start, right? If you don't want to do something or you think that's too much, that's normally a sign that it should be done. You have to do that, because if you don't do it, guess what? Someone else is going to do it, and they're going to take the spoils that you wanted. Then you can't get angry about the work you didn't do. So, so I'd say definitely work as hard as you can. And also when you think you've had enough, that's where the work starts, because everybody else pretty much has the same threshold. So that's where you make the hard yards. Is in that point there when you've had enough, you don't want to do any more. That is where the stuff is. You stack those up and you will win. I guarantee you. Number 1 is work hard. 2, be consistent. Be so consistent. We all know when Matt Armstrong's going to do a video. We all know when Beard Meets Food is going to do a video. We all know when EastEnders was on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we all know this sort of stuff. We all knew when Top Gear was going to be on. So that is something you need to be there when people expect you to be there, or they will go and find someone else who is there. So work hard, be consistent. Thirdly, just be kind, like to literally everybody. Like, even if you don't know, even if they're horrible to you, you don't know what kind of day they had. Like they could be having a terrible day. Their cat could have just got run over or something. Do you know what I mean? Like they could be having, and they're just projecting it on you, but that's not always them. And often that's like a mirror. When they chuck something out there, it's normally like, right, that's them projecting, as I say. And those people on track, if someone rams you or whatever like that, don't get angry. They're your prospective audience. You call this guy like this or that or the other. If he sees that or they see that, you've lost them forever. Because, or if you do a terrible move on someone, you've lost them forever. There's no coming back from that. You stack enough of those up, they'll talk to their friends and go, well, this guy's done this guy's done that. And just be kind to people, because you don't know who they are. You don't know what they're doing. I could be playing against my nephew for all I know. Could you imagine if I did something bad and came like that's bad, right?
That's a fear. That's
you don't know who they are. So assume the worst and just be kind to everyone. So work hard, be consistent, and be kind. They are my Rory's top tips. I don't suggest you listen to them, but you know what I mean.
Well, they certainly put you into a good place.
And be very, very lucky, because you have to have luck before any of this comes into play.
Yeah, I like the one about working hard, and it reminded me of a quote that I always learn from a song. Every fear hides a desire behind the door.
So all these, I'm just holding my lanyards here. All of these are like, if my stomach says no, what comes out of my mouth is yes.
Says yes.
Every time. Like, there's nothing scarier than facing turn one at Monza. I remember my first one. I'll let you go in a minute. My baptism of fire was, it was turn one at Monza. I was doing presenting with Veloce, one camera in my face. I was facing the crowd during a race, and there was literally about 1,000 people looking at me. And I had to recite lines and pretend I knew what I was talking about. And you've just got to play your mortgage or mine. That's what I say. Like, if I don't do this, I'm not going to pay my mortgage, and someone else is going to do it and pay theirs. So suck it up and go for it. What's the worst what can happen? And just because you don't think you're good at something, trust me, it doesn't mean that
other people won't think that you are. Yeah, definitely.
They are the judge. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do live by that, very much so. Yeah. And on that note, then, rapid fire questions is on the go. We always like to finish with a round of rapid fire questions. So you shoot the first question, and you just think of the answer that comes at the top of your head.
Yeah,
so
go
it should be fairly easy. So, favorite Group 3 car in Gran Turismo 7?
Mercedes AMG.
Favorite track in the game?
Nordschleife.
If you had to meet one driver, dead or alive, who would it be?
Cliche, Senna.
If you weren't playing GT7, what other sim racing title would you be playing right now?
Probably, I wouldn't. I'd be playing Call of Duty.
Fair enough.
I'd be playing Call of Duty.
Fair enough. Your one word to describe the penalty system in Gran Turismo?
Inconsistent.
Fair. One feature that you would like to see in Gran Turismo 8 when it comes out?
Qualifying before races.
How did Through Goes Rory stuck?
I don't know. Like, it's just the stupidest thing ever. And I didn't even get it from Through Goes Hamilton. I didn't even get it from that.
That's something new that I didn't know.
But honestly, it didn't even come from that. It's just Through Goes Rory. Or maybe it did come from it. Through Goes Hamilton. I don't know where it came from. Like, sometimes I just lose the plot towards the end of a stream and just do things out there. Yeah. Did you hear that someone, who was it? Was it Maris or someone, like one of the people in our cross communities, said someone went past him on a bike, and I don't know if this is true, but shouted, almost hit him, like squeezed past him, went Through Goes Rory. I don't know if that's true.
Oh wow!
But if it is, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that literally is like you've accomplished.
I could dine out on that for a while. That's a good one.
Yeah. Two more.
Cool.
You're a man of quotes, and I have listened and do remember a lot of your quotes. What is your favorite quote?
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
I knew you were going to say that one.
Yeah.
And last one, anything coming up in the pipeline for you? Any plans heading up in the future for Rory Alexander?
Some pretty big ones coming at the end of the year, into the next year. Obviously, I can't tell you about them.
NDA up to the eyeballs.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Which is always a good problem to have. Yeah. No, I'd love to get out to Japan. I would love to somehow. I've got to write about 1 million emails to Gran Turismo and say, please, can you let me into Japan? I wanted to go last year, but it clashed. So yeah, I'd love to go out there and see where everything that allows me to do what I get to do and provide for my family and all that sort of stuff. I'd love to go to the birthplace of it, almost like full circle. I'd love to do that. So yeah, nothing I can tell you about, but if everything I can tell you about, I will tell you as soon as I can.
Excellent stuff. And with that said, that concludes the episode with the long-awaited Rory Alexander. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation, that chat, that journey of Rory throughout the years and how he's become, like I said, and I will keep repeating it, one of the Mount Rushmore faces in GT7.
Thank you for having me, though. I really appreciate it. What you do here is great, and I was noticing your segues in between stuff. Very good. Very good.
I've been practicing.
Very good.
It does depend on great guests to have to actually be able to do those segments. But yeah, anything else that you'd like to say to the people before we wrap up?
Just thank you. Just thank you. As I say, I don't know why you guys have chosen me. Those who have chosen me to watch and support, I don't know why you have. Just thank you. Just thank you so much.
And with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and if you have, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give it a like down there in the box, and also hype it while you can, while it's available. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and if somehow you aren't subscribed to Rory just yet, please also subscribe to Rory as well. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next episode. Take care. I'll see you later.